we're just gonna do old school like this, since evidently we're having a rough go of it trying to stream on the laptop. So we're just gonna hang out for a little bit here, see if y'all want to kick it. If not, no big whoop. I totally understand. This is a super duper clanker method. I got to admit, you might be onto something there, broski. You might be onto something with the old that dude might have dropped it down. Yeah, mobile. Yeah, Mr. Detroit City. Let's go. They won't keep us down, dude. They can't keep us down, dude. The globalists won't keep us down. We're gonna go listening on the highway. Well, dude, don't be texting and fucking driving, bro. Don't be texting and fucking driving. You know what I'm saying? We're back for now. It is what it is. Friday. Look, this is totally par for the course, fellas. If I'm too loud or if the fan's too loud in the background, let me know. I'll shut it down. Actually, you know what? We'll just do that. This is totally par for the course this week, yo. Deep State pulling their shit again. Exactly, Mr. Detroit. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like legit. I mean, it might not be for real, but doesn't it kind of feel like it? Doesn't it kind of feel like that? Broski had a good point. A couple days ago, there was that goofy motherfucker talking all kinds of smack. That cake dude. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, legit, ever since that dude started saying that nonsense. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. I'm glad it sounds okay, dude. Ever since that dude started came in here talking shit, I've been kind of like throttled back, just a cunt hair. You know, it is what it is. But this week, yo, it's been a bitch this week, yo. I am on day 7 of 7. I'm so 11:01 p.m. cannot come soon, and 11:01 p.m. cannot come soon. I cannot come soon enough. I tell you this much, fellas. I tell you this much. 11:01 can't come soon enough because 11:01 p.m. means I am done for the weekend. Oh, 2 glorious days off. I told Hat and Boobs this morning, legit. Oops, man, I hate it when the chat. I don't understand why I can't see the chat all the time. I don't understand that. Why? There we go. First YouTube censored Tucker. Now, yeah, dude, exactly, Mr. Detroit City. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm not saying that they're definitely throttling me, but it does kind of feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we're gonna be taking this shit to Rumble. Here, we're gonna be dual streaming to Rumble come next week. So just keep your eyes peeled and pay attention for that. I guess I don't know, man. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out. I guess we can kind of poke around at these questions or just kind of. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Hendon Hooker? I got this article here from Detroit Lions where the organization made the decision to sign veteran back Kyle Allen and wanted the former third round to win a quarterback battle after a full training camp and preseason, and it simply did not happen. I agree with that. I don't think this had. I don't. I just. I've said it and I've said it and I've said it that Kyle Allen. Just a few of my Jesus channels are getting weird censorship stuff too. Videos hidden. No shit, dude. As YouTube putting their thumb on the scale again, fellas? Is that what they're doing? I don't know, man. So Hendon Hooker's been a topic of discussion like for the past 6 months feels like ever since the start of the offseason. We're kind of like, all right, is Hendon Hooker going to take that step? We ended up bringing in Kyle Allen, and at first it's kind of like, okay, Kyle Allen is here to just kind of push him. You know what I'm saying, to get better. Hall of Fame game. Neither one of those guys played real well, dude. Both guys kind of played like trash, and then against the Falcons, Hendon Hooker got the start, right? Hendon Hooker went out and just played like dog water, and some of the issues weren't necessarily his fault. The fumble, it was a bad snap. You know what I'm saying? Motown Mitch. What up, listening? Lions rule, Beards rule, Packers, Bears rule. Hell yeah, dude. Motown, dude. We're doing a little bit of a mobile action today. I've been having issues with the internet, which, like I was saying, is par for the course. It's just been a long week, fellas. It's just been a long week, so it just completely makes sense. Like, it just completely makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We're just gonna make the best of it. We have to be like a water and be able to take us all in stride. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna lie, kind of like this angle actually. Might switch up the camera and put things more at this angle so that the camera view is more directly head on instead of so much of my big tits. Isn't technology the best? Yes. Isn't it awesome, dude? The hamster on the wheel that powers my internet. He decided to take today off, and it just petered out. You know what I'm saying? Um, but we'll see. We'll get it taken care of. We're gonna be taking this to Rumble. That's what she said. Exactly. All about the angles, baby. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Uh, you got to make the best of what you got. Back to Hendon Hooker. I've just been saying it all preseason that Kyle Allen took advantage of the opportunities that he was given, right? And when you're in a battle like this for a position like that, you got to make the absolute best of every opportunity that you have. And Hendon Hooker, like I said, not by no fault of his own necessarily, some of the turnover, at least two of the turnovers weren't really his fault, right? That fumble that was a bad snap wasn't really on him. I mean, yeah, it is on him to make sure to get his hand on the ball, but when you're in that situation, playing with a bunch of guys trying to earn their spot, things can kind of go awry, right? So he lost the fumble early on, and then last week he threw that bullshit kind of hella athletic freak grinding out here. My boy, hell yeah, Sam. That's what's up, dude. We're all out here grinding, trying to do what we can. Um, he threw that interception at the end of the game on the game. Well, it could have been a game tying drive, possibly, theoretically extended into overtime. I don't know if we do overtime in preseason. But the defensive end or linebacker, whatever he is, I don't follow the Dolphins enough to know who that guy is. Made a freak interception, just jumped up, grabbed that bad boy. Brad knows Hooker since he was a boy. I think he keeps him this year anyway. Protected practice squad player, maybe. Yeah, that is an option that he could go as the protected practice squad player. If football doesn't work out, Henry can always try out for the Vikings cheer squad. Yes, Mr. Detroit City, he would fit in there very well. I've also said that Hendon Hooker, he could be a fucking dominant force in the UFL. But Brent actually kind of touched on that, dude. That's kind of what I was going to say is that historically Hendon Hooker, or not Hendon Hooker, but Brad Holmes shows he gives a lot longer of a leash to guys that he drafts. You know what I'm saying? He sees that he's invested value, and I think Brad Holmes really likes to see a return on his investment. Think of Brad Holmes as having diamond hands when it comes to stonks and Bitcoin and shit. He hates selling, and he'll just take the loss and cut ties instead of selling high and making a profit. Hooker sloppy. He took a step back. Sam, I agree, and that's my point. Kyle Allen has taken steps forward just in the preseason alone with the opportunities that he's had made available to him, while Hendon Hooker has regressed from where he was even last season. I very much feel that Hendon Hooker was able to slide more last year. He looks a lot more rattled now. Maybe it's the reserve offensive line isn't necessarily giving him the protection that he needs to set up and develop. And if that's the case, then he needs to get through his progressions faster. He needs to make that adjustment because things aren't always going to be perfect, but he always looks rattled back there in the pocket. Yeah, Kyle Allen doesn't necessarily have the best protection either, but Kyle Allen seems to have a little bit more Jared Goffian tendencies where he keeps his cool, maintains his calm under pressure, and again has been able to take advantage and make the best of the opportunities that he's been had available to him. Hendon takes me as a dude who runs Madden and boosts all of his own stats to 99. Doesn't he though? Dude? So the one thing though that I'm looking for, agreed. Hooker looks worse this year, doesn't he though, Brent? Doesn't he look like he just took a massive step back compared to last year? So all of this is to say, sorry, I kind of got sidetracked there. I'm trying to read your chats because it disappears. I'm going to be sticking my hand in the camera. Look at my palms, boys. Ooh, yeah, look at my arm feet. You guys like my arm feet? Ooh, I sell arm feet pictures for free. So my point being about all this, with Hendon Hooker having a longer leash because Brad drafted him, is to say that if Hendon Hooker has any success, and I mean shows any flashes of competency against the Texans Saturday, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Hendon Hooker ends up being the number 2 quarterback and Brad Holmes keeps Hendon Hooker on the active roster. Now, I do think the actual probability is, like Brent DeWitt said earlier, I think it was Brent, that Hendon Hooker ends up being a protected practice squad player, or, kind of that you could have an emergency quarterback for games, you just can't dress them, and I think Hendon Hooker will end up being that, because the one thing that I do think Hendon Hooker has going for him is that at least right now, teams aren't necessarily quarterback hungry, especially for a quarterback of his caliber. He's done nothing to increase his value this year. If we were to get anything for Hendon Hooker, it would have been at the draft. We could have gotten a little something for him, but I think that the value of Hendon Hooker, drop him off at the border, see you, buddy. Well, and so Mr. Detroit City, maybe Hendon Hooker does something cool. Like, so you have to be under 37 years old. You have to have a bachelor's degree or the equivalent, I think, of federal experience, law enforcement, or military experience to join ICE. And I think Hendon Hooker should join ICE. Yeah, why not? Should try to trade him. But Sam, what are you going to get for him? I mean, at this point, unless you're just like, hey, Houston, maybe we'll trade you Hendon Hooker for some of that sweet, sweet Texas style barbecue. Like that's a good return on investment. But you're not going to get any draft picks for him. You're not going to get anything like worthwhile. But I mean that Texas barbecue is good. You know what I mean? So maybe we end up going that route. Maybe we end up taking getting a couple pounds of some pulled pork straight out of Houston. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we exchange like Hendon Hooker in a trade to Houston, and Bun B comes and plays the Thanksgiving halftime show. That'd be a cool trade. That'd be a totally viable trade. That'd be something that I'd be on board with. If we were to trade Hendon Hooker for Bun B to come and play the halftime show, sign me up. But I don't think the Hendon Hooker should make the 53-man active roster. You guys know me. At this point, I'm saying go Kyle Allen, but I've got over 200 hours on Call of Duty. Does that count, Hendon Hooker? Yeah. Hey, Ice, I got 200 hours on Call of Duty. Yeah, me and Kyler Murray be playing all the time. Yeah, he smokes me there too. Rooting for Kyle Allen, though, I'm on the Kyle Allen train. It's like, hey, awesome. We got the smartest kid on the short bus. You know what I'm saying? As the backup. He's not great. Yo, Peppo. Kyle Korver once traded for a printer. Peppo. Good morning, dude. Happy Friday, brother. How you doing, man? You excited for the game? So that kind of brings me up to it. You guys kind of drop it in the chat. I'll try and read it when I can. Who are you guys most excited to see? That was the poll question. At the time of ending, Jackson Meeks was running away with it, right? I had given you guys Hendon Hooker. Are you most excited to see Hendon Hooker's last stand? AOC's Tatas. Meeks earned that wide receiver 6 spot. Chris Draper was traded for $1. Damn, dude. Damn. Or did you have another guy? I really liked what I've seen out of Jackson Meeks. You know what I'm saying? He's been very electric in the preseason, but it is still the preseason. So, we're very excited to see a guy who's earning that 6th wide receiver spot. Personally, I'm more excited to see Isaac Tesla take that 3rd wide receiver spot right out of Fireball Tim Patrick's hands. And it's no slight against Fireball Tim Patrick. It's just like, come on, man. This guy, Tesla can be special. Tesla can be special. Fireball Tim Patrick can be a jag at the summit of his career. He's just going to be a jag. You know what I'm saying? At the summit of his career, and he's on the down slope, right? I think he knows that. He's been through too many injuries. He's lost a step. He's still going to be a bigger body, but Tesla also fits that bigger body build. He's a quiet 6'4" and a sneaky 4.40 guy. You know what I'm saying? I really do think Tesla can be a special player. The thing that you do got to kind of wonder is how much do we want to develop Tesla? Because if say Tesla ends up going off this season. Say Tesla manages to grind himself up to 1,000 yards. Somehow we end up with Amon-Ra well over 1,000. JMO goes off. Tesla hits 1,000. You're going to have to start having that conversation of does Tesla end up bumping JMO, and then what do we end up getting for JMO? Now, I do like having the value of Tesla behind JMO. At this point, though, that's obviously a conversation for next year, next calendar year. We don't want to delve too much into that, but I do hope that Tesla goes out there. If he balls out today, makes another nice couple tomorrow goes out and makes a couple of nice contested touchdown catches. We can protect 4 practice squad players. Who's my 4? Well, all right. So I guess that would the first question, Brent. I do like where your head's at with that. The first question should be who would be my top 4 practice squad players that are destined for the practice squad, right? Pray to God all the time that we trade JMO. I know you do, Mr. Detroit City. I can see Tesla sitting this. Sam, that was also what I was wondering is at this point, have you seen enough? Do you want to protect the asset that is Isaac Tesla? I would rather protect him at this point. Give Jackson Meeks a chance to go out there and ball. See what you got in Ronnie Bell. Maybe Dominic Lovett, right? So Brent, though, back to Brent's question. That was a good question. Who would be the 4 protected practice squad players? Boom! Brent DeWitt. Yep. There you go. That's exactly it, actually. That's exactly it. Because in my ideal world, uh, Eric Hallett makes the roster, and Keith Cooper Jr. makes the roster. Okay, because I really think Eric Hallett's balled out, and he offers the versatility that we really like to have in our secondary players. At this point, I think Eric Hallett is a smaller, smaller frame, skinnier version of Brian Branch. So Hallett makes the roster. Keith Cooper makes the roster. Your protected practice squad players then go Lovett, Hooker, Kennelly, and Sailors. Right now, because keep my man Kennedy, Tom Kennedy, TK85. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think TK85 can stay on the practice squad. I don't see any players wanting to poach him. Keith Cooper Jr. making and Lynn are making the 53. Brent, yes, I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with that. And I'm very excited about Nate Lynn. I think Nate Lynn is a very big upside player that'll have a sneaky season. That's going to kind of be a bad thing for Hassanin, but a good thing if you're anti Josh Pascal, right? Like we are here. We're not really on the Josh Pascal hype train anymore, right? So probably going to protect Hooker because of the investment. He's a third round pick and he knows the offense. He'll end up being that emergency quarterback. I don't see Kennelly making the active roster as much as I want him to make the active roster, but he's a guy that you like to have in house. And this is very obnoxious comparison because their names are similar and they're both white guys playing skilled positions. But I really think Ian Kennelly is going to be the Tom Kennedy of the defense. You know, he's just going to kind of be kicking around there. In case of fire, break glass, have him on the practice squad ready to rock and roll. Kennedy's like 40, still on the practice squad. He is an older guy, he's a little bit longer in the tooth, you know. How much Kennedy can't for back on the practice squad again. He has reached his limit of years on it. Oh, okay, so there is a cap out of number of years on the practice squad. Gotcha. I didn't realize that. Appreciate that, Motown. Appreciate that, bud. That's what's up. Um, yeah. Well then Kennedy, dude, I'm sorry, but Tom Kennedy's is not good enough to make the roster. Tom Kennedy, time to become an intern, right? Time to transition into coaching and take a role within the organization. I'm sure that the team will be more than willing to do that, obviously, with what you've done and how much time you've committed to the Lions, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, and just constantly being that guy, right? Clearly, he embodies what we do here. So I think it's time. I think it's time for Tom Kennedy to go ahead and hang it up and become obviously this year it'd have to be like a special coordinator or an intern, but I think it's time for him to transition into the coaching hierarchy tree. You know what I'm saying? Tom Kennedy, RFK Jr.'s nephew. Real quick though, is he though? Like legit, is Tom Kennedy related to RFK? Because that'd be fucking wild, dude. Um, and then the last name that Brent you brought up was Jacob Sailors. Now, if Hattenbeard's calling the shots, there's no slight against the individual. Uh, Craig Reynolds is getting the old Bootarooski, right? It's no slight against Craig Reynolds. It's just I like what I see out of Jacob Sailors. I think he offers more upside than Craig Reynolds does. Now, Craig Reynolds familiar with the offense, integrated into the scheme of things. You know, fan favorite. We love what he does. Offers a little bit on special teams. We know what you got in the running game. I just think Jacob Sailors offers more upside at this point, man. I think he's got a little bit more jazz and a little bit more pizzazz in his pants. You know, I think when he has the rock, he does have the ability to make a special play at a higher rate than Craig Reynolds does. Sailors looks like a younger, faster Netflix. Yeah, dude, exactly. I also think Jacob Sailors has a little bit more, a little bit more power. Sailors looks like a younger Reynolds, but better. Both you guys, hell yeah, both of you guys agree with me. Yeah, dude, I agree. I totally, wholeheartedly. Sam and Brent, you're totally right, dude. He's like a younger, faster, stronger version of Netflix, and it's no slight against Netflix, dude. It's just the reality of the league. You know what I'm saying? But again, we're going to come into this situation. Jacob Sailors wasn't brought in until well into training camp. I think it was after the Hall of Fame game he was brought into camp, so he's missed out on a lot of time. Craig Reynolds has a lot of familiarity, and again, we're going to keep until proven that this isn't the way that he does business. Brad Holmes loves to keep his guys, right? And Craig is more or less one of his guys. You know, obviously he wasn't drafted, but the story of Craig Reynolds is a very nice story. But that in 5 cents won't get you a cup of coffee anymore. You know what I'm saying? You need to, it's more of a what have you done for me lately And I think Jacob Sailors has more upside at this point. Though in reality, based on what I've seen just in the limited exposure in the preseason and all the reports, and I got to take Tim Twentyman at his word. He's seen. There's a reason he's the senior writer for DetroitLions.com, or PrideOfDetroit.com rather. Sione Vaki. Sione Vaki is looking real good. Get rid of Henderson and Craig. Free up number 2 and 13. You know players want those numbers. That's true. Or Hendon, not Henderson. Hendon. Yeah, I read that wrong. My bad, dude. Yeah. Yeah, Craig, man. Again, nothing personal against him. It's just Sailors can do more at this point. But the reality is Sione Vaki is going to be the number 3 running back come the end of the season. Come mid-season, Sione Vaki will be getting, I think, more reps. He's more athletic, obviously, than Craig Reynolds. And all rumors are kind of indicating that there's going to be more exposure defenses are going to have to Gibbs and Montgomery on the field at the same time, right? So that is going to open up more opportunities for single back sets if you want to get both of those guys a blow. And Sione Vaki, I think, gives you more upside than Craig Reynolds. Probably more than Jacob Sailors just because of his familiarity with the offense at this point. But I would rather see Sailors end up kind of taking over that role. Mostly, Sailors is a more traditional build of a running back. Vaki got a nice FF also. Oh, does he? Nice, right on. But Vaki, you know, oh yeah, that's right. He did get that nice little punch out. He does offer a little bit more. I forgot all about that. He does offer that special teams upside ability because of his collegiate career playing safety. You know, he's a little bit more versatile for our team as a whole, not just on offense. He does offer more versatility across special teams and offense while also being a little bit more dynamic running back than Craig Reynolds. But Jacob Sailors, I think, should beat up Craig Reynolds. So that's just my opinion. But Sailors probably destined for the practice squad. And I agree with you, Brent should be one of the protected players, along with Kennelly, Hendon Hooker, and I can't remember who the other guy was that we listed. It won't let me scroll back. What's up, Kerry? How you doing, brother? We're having some, Vaki can return kicks also. You're right, Brent. Kerry, we're having some technical issues on the normal stream, so that's why we're doing this ghetto-ass mobile, and I'm just talking at you guys. We're just a talking head. Now, the question does have to be, just you guys let me know down in the chat if you can. What if I were to position the camera more like this normally and put like right here kind of a windowed, like more of a windowed screen of what I was reading? What about that? How would you feel about that? DEI versatility. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. You got it, dude. It's that very, very versatile player. You know, different exposures from different cultures. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think that wouldn't be too bad. You'd have to be looking at my face a lot more. Way up more up in my grill. Netflix returning kicks doesn't thrill me. Brent, it doesn't me either, and it never really has. He does offer that versatility, but so Craig Reynolds, you know, he's Netflix. They call him Netflix, but think of Craig Reynolds more as like Denny's. You know what I'm saying? I would say he's like Cracker Barrel because you know what you're going to get. But Cracker Barrel, they done fucked themselves, and they went super fucking woke, and that shit is uglier than fuck. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They went from like, I love the meme. I wish I could look it up right now of what Cracker Barrel used to be, and it's a picture of Sydney Sweeney, and what Cracker Barrel is now, and it's a picture of Rachel Zegler with the face. You know what I'm saying? But Craig Reynolds is like Denny's. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're gonna get. It ain't nothing wild, but it'll make a turd. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wild, but it'll make a fucking turd. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, sometimes you could get something a little bit more special. You know what I'm saying? But Craig Reynolds, he's like Denny's. You know what you're gonna get. You know that. You know what I'm talking about? Billy French fried and taters. You know what I'm saying? That fucking Rachel Zegler face. You know what I'm guys saying? Let's see if I can pull up anything else here. Kind of forgetting what we were going to be talking about. So that kind of covers Hendon Hooker. We got some position battles. You guys want me to kind of read the position battles that they got listed here? We can kind of poke around. Well, we talked. So the number one position battle they got listed here at Sideline Report is the QB2 competition. I think we've kind of covered that. Do you guys legit? does Kyle Allen have it in the bag, or is there? Do you see that Brad Holmes style where he just can't give up on Hendon Hooker? Do you think Kyle Allen has to have it in the bag, right? Get behind the eight ball at this point, man. I I can't get on Hendon Hooker. I'm happy with whatever you decide on your show. Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Gary. That's very nice, dude. That's very nice of you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're just trying to figure out what is the best approach visually, because right now I've got my current setup modeled after Tim Pool's his daily show, not like IRL, but I kind of got it modeled after Tim Pool's setup. The problem is that I kind of like the stuff that I have in the background, you know what I mean? And I'd like to kind of show that a little bit more. Maybe it makes it a little bit more chill, a little bit more vibes. God, I sound like a fucking zoomer when I say that. But it just kind of makes it a little bit more chill, like not as like business oriented, because I do kind of like to be a little bit more lax, not so much like suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? Legit, how can Hendon Hooker, other than the only avenue I see is that one, Brad Holmes has a bias towards his other. What's up, Ivor? Oh shit, you guys. So, we got three cats up here, right? And my studios are like a room in itself. Doesn't really matter if golf goes down for an extended period. We are, Brent, yes, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, dude. So yesterday, we got three cats up here, right? And the studio is like a room, like its own room, you know what I mean? Like, shut the door and whatever. Dude, I didn't realize that I shut fucking Ivor in here. He was up here for like 6 hours. He's just stuck in my office, poor little bastard. I felt bad. And, so I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" Like this morning, Trippy Gypsy probably should give Goff a 21-ish-year-old QB to mentor instead of basically the same age. Trippy Giffy, I think I read that right. That is correct, and that's what we should be looking to do in the coming drafts. Hendon Hooker was supposed to be that guy, but he was 160 years old when we drafted him. Like he was older than Jared Goff at that point. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe get yourselves a young player now. Now, let's have this conversation. Let's have this thought exercise. God, I can't believe I'm actually considering this. We talked about the Cleveland Brown Eyes earlier this week. Obviously, old Joe has been named the starter, right? They still have Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel on roster. One, if not two of those guys, is going to be cut free. If one or two of those guys isn't a protected player on the practice squad, say Kenny Pickett or Shedeur Sanders, are either one of those two guys viable to be brought in as the backup? Are they still young enough to be brought in as a backup to Jared Goff / mentor position? And how would you feel about the Lions bringing in either a Kenny Pickett or a Shedeur Sanders, if it were possible? How would you feel about that? How do you guys feel about the possibility? And if it is the possibility, how comfortable would you be if, say, we brought in Kenny Pickett? I actually kind of like the idea of Kenny Pickett, as long as you have a beard and a hat. It doesn't matter how it looks. Right on. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that, Mr. Detroit City. Yeah. I don't like to take the beard off, really. I got too many chins under here. And, actually, you'll see it because I'm probably going to bring back the battle beard from last year. All right, so I'm probably going to bring back the battle beard. So you guys will see, when I was in first or second grade, I was riding my bike with my buddy, and we were doing jumps off my neighbor's driveway, because their driveway was higher than ours, onto our driveway. And I fell and on my gravel driveway coming down, but instead of falling and landing and then falling, I fell face first into the gravel driveway and just decided to put all that impact on my chin and just slide across the driveway. So I just peeled my face open. So I had a bunch of stitches down my face. So not only do I kind of have a naturally occurring butt chin, but I have a medically induced butt crack right down my butt chin that you guys will see when I bring the battle beard out. So I got a beautiful butt crack right in the middle of my butt chin that I try to hide most days with my beard. But yeah, dude, I can't go beardless. I got too many chins under here that I try and hide. And I've had the beard for so long. You know how fucking weird and white it would look under this motherfucker, dude? It'd look terrible. The real question is, what do I do with my hair? Because it's getting kind of long. We got to cut this shit. This is getting too damn long. Do I continue to keep it kind of cut like clean and tight and short the way I've been doing it? AOC chin. Yes, dude, an AOC chin. Hashtag butts. Hashtag butt teeth. Um, or do I start to grow a mullet? Should I do a mullet in solidarity with our guy, Tater Ratledge? I shaved the head brother, bald and beard. Oh, hell yeah. See, dude, so Mr. Detroit City, I used to rock the shaved head for a while, years and years and years ago. I used to just do the shaved head and a goatee, right? The problem is that when you're my size and my like blue eyes and really light skin complexion, when you shave your head, people that like you don't necessarily want to be affiliated with start coming up to you and they're just like eins feins dreins reins, you know what I'm saying? You're like, whoa, not no, man, this is just easier to shave my head, you know what I'm saying? So I try to keep a little bit, and let's be real, as a ginger, I do like to show off my gingerality a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stay solid together. You know what I'm saying? Us gingers are few and far between. And besides, if I didn't rep my my red hair, how would AOC know who I am? And we all know that she loves them ginger. She's a pumpkin pounder, dude. And how would she be able to find me, dude? You know what I'm saying? My big booty Latina, juicy big booty Latina. Oh, well, we got off topic like a motherfucker. All right. The other position battle they were looking to watch here was the wide receiver 3 spot, and that is they're bringing it down between Tesla. I heard AOC likes doing rim jobs. I wouldn't be surprised, dude. She seems like that type of chick. She's from that area. You know what I'm saying? You could probably grow out the red, cut it, sell it for good money. You would think that, dude. You would think that. So, Mr. Detroit City, so during the pandemic, I was like, fuck it. If we're going to all LARP that we're living in Fallout world, I'm gonna look like a Fallout character. So I grew my hair out, like way out. Like it was like down. I did the undercut, you know what I'm saying? I grew my hair out. It was like down past my shoulder blades. And I used to pull it back, Hat and Boobs would braid it for me and shit. I used to have like super duper fucking long hair. The thing is though, is I got really straight and really fine hair, dude. So nobody really wants it. It's because it's so like fine and thin. It's really weird. You know what I mean? But nah, I don't really do that. But so what do you guys think? Do you think Tesla can beat out Tim Patrick by the start of the regular season, or do you guys think that's something we're going to see come mid-season? I think that's more of a mid-season move, unless Tesla really just like comes out and starts popping, which could be a possibility. We have so many. See, Isaac Tesla, now that I think about it, Isaac Tesla is walking into a golden opportunity. Not only does he have all the upside of being the possibility of being a very special player in this league, but he also has the luxury of being able to not have to be forced into a role that he's not ready for yet, while also being the beneficiary of having such talented players above him that there will be times where he's just that guy that just isn't covered because you got Amon Ra who's going to demand double coverage. You got Jamo who's going to demand double coverage. And I don't mean all the time, these guys, I mean periodically. You got Sam Laporta who is a all-world tight end. I still think Sam Laporta is the number 2 pass catching option on this team. You know what I'm saying? He has golden opportunity to get Tesla sponsorship. You know, wouldn't that be hilarious if Elon like came out and was like, my new favorite player in the NFL is Isaac Tesla? That would boost. It'd also be very divisive because we know how woke the NFL is now that I think about it. But Tesla benefits from having all of these all-world elite level guys ahead of him that are going to demand a lot more attention. So he will be the beneficiary of just happening to be, hey man, I just happen to be open because everybody else is covered because they're too good not to pay attention to. We're starting to have this just like it's a beautiful thing to have as far as an offense is concerned, but as an individual, if you're trying to pad up your stats, like a JMO's probably trying to do to demand higher pay or leverage come the contract extension time, it could kind of hamper him down because there's so many mouths that not only have to be fed but can be fed, not forcing the ball and making bad decisions. And again, if Tesla continues to ascend to be this better guy that gives us an option for a potential upside, a very high ceiling of a potential upside if he's the number 3 wide receiver on this team. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm thinking he's more of a low end 350, high end 700 yard receiver. But if he hits that 1,000 yard receiving mark and everybody stays healthy, that just paves the way for Jared Goff to hit that 5,000 yards that I've been saying very easily if Tesla ends up being up. But currently, the wide receiver three battle, I think you will see come the regular season, at least for the first couple weeks. We got divisional opponents, familiarity against those guys. Fireball Tim Patrick should get the nod. Tesla worked into red zone packages. Very possible, Brent DeWitt. He's shown in the preseason a knack for being able to go up and grab contested catches and get the toes down. Motown Mitch. I said 3 to 500 myself for Tesla. Yeah, see, so 3 at the low end. I think we're all kind of on board with Tesla having a low end 300. 3 to 500 would be great. I say a high end 700 would be out of this world, considering all the players that you have. Is you call him Vanillatron, bro? Vanillatron or the Vanilla Gorilla? I love Vanillatron. That's hilarious, dude. That's fucking awesome. That's funny. That's funny, Motown. That's funny, dude. I like that. So low end 300 to 500 sounds about right, doesn't it? Though I've been calling him Vanillatron since his days at Arkansas. No shit, you've been following him for a while. Do you think he can pound the rock with great defense and still, if Goff wins and Allen is serviceable? Possibly. I was able to read that. It disappears really quick. I'm sorry about that, bud. So I think your question is can we still win if Goff goes down? Allen's running the show. Do we then turn into a real ground and pound offense, just unleashing our offensive line and running backs against the NFL and letting our defense, going full Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer is what you're saying, more or less. Do we go full Baltimore Ravens when Trent Dilfer was with them? Yes, that is 150% what we do. If there's a world where Jared Goff is down for an extended period of time and we have to roll behind Sam, yeah, exactly. Yep, Allen seems like a 500 win back. Yeah, so Kyle Allen has a ceiling of being a 500 quarterback. That's exactly, Brent, you're exactly right. Kyle Allen has a ceiling of being a 500 quarterback, okay? But the easiest route to him being a 500 quarterback and still being able to make a playoff if this happens early on is to turn into, like I said, the Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer, ground and pound. You run a lot of jumbo. Dan Skipper ends up running more snaps at the jumbo tight end than he does at offensive line through the whole season. Gibbs and Montgomery both are pushing over 1,500 yards each. You know what I'm saying? Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki then chip in a little bit, or Sione Vaki and Jacob Sailors chip in a little bit. Health will be the number one priority and the top concern about this team. You know what I mean? Got to remember, he's a rookie. How many first stringers has he played against? That's a very good point, Kerry. That's a very good point. That's why personally, I think that although Tesla does have a ceiling of 700 yards if he works his way early on into the number 3 wide receiver role, but a floor regardless of 300 yards this season, whether he comes on late or just doesn't quite crack that threshold, be it because of injury, be it because Fireball Tim Patrick ends up playing really, really well. How many starters has Tesla really played against? Not many. So early on, that's why I say at least for the first 2 weeks, he's not going to crack that third wide receiver spot. Let him develop. Let him. Figure out the real speed of the game. Slowly integrate him into the offense. Remember, early on in the Jahmyr Gibbs tenure, everyone's screaming, "Where's Gibbs? Where's Gibbs? We want to see Gibbs." But Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, they're not going to throw these guys into a spot where they know that they're going to fail. They give these guys every single opportunity that they possibly can to succeed. So personally, I think Tesla, at the latest, we'll take that wide receiver 3 spot. Graham got dinged up. Glasgow got dinged up, huh? Great. That's just what we need, is our shitbox replacement center going down. Excellent. Hurry up, Miles Frazier, and get healthy so that you can play guard. You know what I'm saying? Got to remember he's a rookie. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, Kerry, you're right. I agree with you. That's why I think that Tesla, at the latest, will take the wide receiver 3 spot after the bye week. If Tesla is very, very, very ahead of the curve and the coaches are very confident in Isaac Tesla, earliest Tesla gets a lot of repetition at the wide receiver 3 spot, barring an injury to Fireball Tim Patrick, is week 3. simply because divisional opponents, big games right out of the rip. Tim Patrick should give you the best. Hopefully, Tesla throws better than JMO if that's the case. I agree with you, Mr. Detroit City, and he should. Also, as long as we have a offensive coordinator who is not trying to deliberately tank our postseason performance so that he can hurry up and be a turncoat running to the Windy City to play with old finger polish nails himself. Everyone basically has thrown Patrick under the bus. Uh, well, Kerry, it's easy to. It's easy to. Tim Patrick has had a injury riddled career. Tim Patrick is on the wrong side of Father Time. Tim Patrick is slowly injuring himself again throughout training camp, and there wouldn't be so much viability or shade being thrown at Fireball Tim Patrick if Isaac Tesla hadn't been so electric in camp and preseason, and if Jackson Meeks hadn't been so electric in camp and preseason. If those two guys hadn't been so great, I don't think you'd be seeing as much shade being thrown at Fireball Tim Patrick as there is now. If healthy Patrick starts week one, I think, 100%. If Fireball Tim Patrick is 85% healthy, he gets to start at wide receiver 3 with a heavy rotation of Khalif Raymond. That's probably what you're going to see simply because of, again, divisional opponents, familiarity with Jared Goff. We're going to get wrapping this up here pretty soon here, fellas. We're going to poke around. What's this last one? Oh, the edge competition. So what do you guys think? What do we do about the edge spot? This is something that's been kind of we've been talking about, sorry, since I was just trying to read ahead, that we've been talking about kind of since the draft, really. Do we roll? Do we look to see what we got this week? Is this week going to be the proving ground for Nate Lynn and Mitchell? Does Mitchell Agude scrap his way up onto the roster somehow? Or does Nate Lynn kind of have it in the bag to be that number 4 defensive end spot, obviously behind Davin Hurt and Hutch? And then Al-Qadim Muhammad is your 3rd defensive end. We did hear about the injury to Josh Pascal not looking so great. Sounds like my ex, so how about that edge? Ha! Nice, Mr. Detroit City. Do you think that Mitchell Agude or Nate Lynn ends up making this roster? Does Okuwu push anybody? I think Nate Lynn's got it in the bag. I don't know really about you guys, but he's kind of splashed in the preseason. Not quite as much as Muhammad, but I think he's got a little bit more spunk in his trunk. You know what I'm saying? Tesla will shine game 1 on special teams. I think he gets a couple of targets game 1 and near the ends. Especially, I agree with you. I agree with that. Best viability for or best probability of seeing Isaac Tesla on the field. Red zone, really look to see him in the red zone weeks 1 and 2. He doesn't look it on film, but he is a big wide receiver. He's 6'4". He's the vanilla gorilla. He's Vanillatron. You know what I'm saying? Lynn over the other guys. Brent, 150%. Nate Lynn has been that guy in the defensive end room that has really, I think he's actually played a little bit better than even Ahmed Hassanin at this point. But, Hassanin's hurt, and I'm calling for Hassanin to make the transition to fullback. Let's go, Ahmed Hassanin at fullback. I can't remember what we were just talking about, though. Shit. Yeah. Oh, Tesla. The viability of when you could see him at least early on, weeks 1 and 2. Divisional opponents, red zone. He gives a bigger body. So, say you roll out with a nice shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers spread. Maybe you pull out a JMO, let him get a blow, because you maybe just got down the field. Right, so theoretically, we just took a big chunk play. Jared Goff comes out, Anza holdouts over Tesla's hair. Pissed he got passed for best hair. No shit, dude. I mean, Tesla does have some nice locks there, but Anza's got them flowing golden locks, dude. So theoretically, just kind of go with me here. We come out real aggressive on offense. First possession, we go we go 20 from the 20 to the 20. Play 1, Jared Goff play action, hits JMO down the sideline for a big play down to the 20, gets us into the red zone. So you're gonna plop JMO out, let him get a blow. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna come out and you're gonna spread that defense out wide. You're gonna roll with 3 wide receivers. You're gonna put St. Brown out there. You're gonna put big body Fireball Tim Patrick. You're gonna put big body Isaac Tesla, and then you're gonna slide Sam Laporta out wide. Gives you another big body running down the field, and then with 1 running back, you really kind of maximize your red zone efficiency by putting as many big bodies as you can down there. And I think Tesla, sorry, I need to fucking shit on my screen. I think Tesla's viability in the red zone is a lot more attainable early on than his viability of being a 3 down wide receiver. Sorry, I missed that last chat, Brent. It disappeared before I could see it, dude. My bad. I don't know how to change it on the mobile because mobile is hard. That's what she said. Oh, got him. Got them on that one. All right, guys. So you know what? I think we're gonna kind of pack this one in. Heard that if we wait until week 1, could cost less guaranteed money to bring back. Z, still hope he comes back. Brent, okay, gotcha. Shred that moldy cheese. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, shred up the cheese week 1. But Brent, yeah, that could be the possibility that we're going, is that we're just trying to save a couple dollar dues and bring in Big Z after week 1 when it's not as much guaranteed money. That's very, very possible. And then, then it makes easier talking piece as to why you brought in Big Zadarius Smith. Why'd you bring Zadarius Smith? Well, after week 1 or week 2 of exposure, maybe a guy got hurt. Maybe we weren't really pleased with the pass rush we were getting behind Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. Hopefully, Davenport can stay healthy all season, because I do think that we should listen to the coaches and their hype around Marcus Davenport. I think there's something there. Fellas, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on the mobile. We're going to call it a day. It's been a good week. It wasn't the most energetic week. We did slog through it, but you guys rocked with me here, and I really appreciate it. We had some technical issues on the back end, but we'll polish that down. Next week's going to be big, dude. We have number 97. That's all that matters, Mr. Detroit City. You're right, dude. Aiden Hutchinson's going to have 69 sacks this year. It's going to be wild, dude. It's going to be wild. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Next week, we're going to be expanding to another platform. Going to be dual streaming. We'll still be here with all you guys on YouTube. But appreciate you, Jeff. That's what's up, bro. Morning, dude. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. Oh, no, I really do. You guys are awesome for rocking with me through the nonsense and tomfoolery. Have a good weekend. Next week, we'll be live on Monday at 10 a.m. here at youtube.com, but also dual streaming to Rumble. So if you're a Rumbler, go head on over to Rumble. Follow me there, and we're going to be live over there as well on Monday. It's a good week to do that. Monday, we're going to be starting having conversations. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have very uncomfortable conversations about players that need to be cut. And this game tomorrow will be a huge indicator, some measuring sticks to see what we got out of guys and what we can get out of guys. So try and have yourself a good weekend, guys. Watch the game. Enjoy yourself. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't call for bail. All right? We'll see you guys Monday morning, 10 a.m. here at YouTube and Rumble. All right? Until then, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Bonga, bonga. Frig off.